Welcome to City Talk and City Walk. Well, my partner has been busy running around the city, the region, and God knows where she is now. But lately, she was with a group of Phil-Canadians and the Canadian Embassy, and you'll get to see that segment here on our show. But right now, we are going to deal with the burning issue of the day. But before that, as always, I'd like to plug in health and wellness products. And some of you have complained that if we have to seriously implement or practice what you're teaching us about health and wellness habits, we will end up not eating anything. Well, I must tell you that there are some joints in Bacolod where you can get very healthy snacks. For example, here, malunggay and nuts special polvoron. Polvoron, as we traditionally know it and have eaten it, is high cholesterol because it has margarine or at best with butter, sugar, and as I've been telling you before, the combination of fat and sugar is very harmful to your heart. It's also a contributing element to diabetes. But this one, friends, is made up of organic malunggay, peanuts, cashew, corn flour, nut flour, sugar, muscovado, Himalayan salt, and VCO, cold processed coconut oil, virgin cocoa oil. And I tell you, it's very, very good. I'm not getting any commission for this. But I discovered this at the Veg Hub at 6th Street, which again serves very interesting, healthy products. Like, what is that very well-known? Bok choy. Bok choy without baboy. Can you beat that? Bok choy without baboy and betsin and chicharon, but it is as good, in fact better than our traditional bok choy. That is at Veg Hub. 6th again, I don't get any commission for plugging them in, but it is to answer the objections of some of our televiewers that if you follow our health and wellness teaching, you won't end up eating anything. This one is your alternative snack. And friends, you Google kefir, K-E-F-I-R. This is a probiotic drink which is much, much more potent and effective than Yakult. For Yakult, it's 7 pesos. This one you can make your own grains. It's, I think, sold at SM. One small mineral bottle is 100 pesos or so. But you can make this on your own. And I tell you, you don't need any sleeping pills if you take this just before you sleep. It gives you a good night's sleep. And for those who are elderlies, if you wake up at 2 a.m. and you want to be able to sleep again, just drink half a glass of this and you will be able to go back to sleep. But what does it do? What does it do? It creates a healthy probiotic culture in your digestive system. So those who have problems with constipation, those who have problems with LDM, this will be the good non-chemical cure. It's not an all-cure thing, but definitely this is anti-cancer of the colon because it helps you detox the natural way, and it is effective for weight loss. I gave this to Mario Valderrama, who is, really overweight, and in 2 weeks he lost 15-20 pounds. Because this will make you defecate so many. So when you start taking this and you're overweight, you'll be prepared to go to the toilet several times. And of course, going back to my favorite product, this is goat's milk, malunggay plus virgin cocoa oil. And It's very convenient, especially when you are traveling, because you don't have to bring a separate pack of shampoo, conditioner. I use it for my hair when I was in Manila recently. I use it for my hair, for my face, and you can see my face. I don't plug in any product that I have not tested. Kay false advertising na. This is produced by our indigenous peoples from Mindanao because our sister NGO believes that it is best to give not fish but the fishing rod. So wherever there are IPs with plenty of goats, they produce milk, they source the milk from them and they process it in a laboratory. I saw the mini factory. It's clean, it is ISO standard, and it is only 1 peso 30 cents at Seacrest Foundation. I tell you, if you buy this from dermatologists, it will cost you about 200, but it makes your skin so smooth, and your face and your hair, and it makes it really, it helps to control hair fall. And of course, Malunggay capsule. This is sold at 5 pesos at your pharmacies and drugstores. You can get it for 4 pesos. This is very effective. I am allergic to mosquito bites, and when I spread out this ointment, the itch is immediately gone, and then it does away with that ugly red spots. But it's also good for tinea flava and other skin disorders, even psoriasis. So, that's about it. This is all available at Seacrest Foundation at 4213th Street. By the way, we have our training center there. So if you are interested in sewing, but do not know how to sew, use the sewing machine, we can give you free training, and immediately if you are really a quick learner and you really produce something not just presentable, but something really good, you can go to our training center and we'll welcome you. Serious workers. We need that. And we go to the heart of the matter. On us, Charter Chacha, and Federalism. What is HOR? Horror. Some people say the horror, house of horror, because they become our, not all, but those who are at the helm act as if they are really horrors, terrors. Okay, they turn witnesses. They invite people to testify, and they end up really terrorizing them. So we're fortunate here in Bacolod to have the lone representative at the House of Congress who is at the same time not only a politician but a man of God. So we'd like to welcome to our show Congressman Greg Gasataya, and again, as in our previous show, our co-host when it comes to interesting subjects for her, Marilu Mary Pastor, who actually is the founding chairman, president of this Bacolod Feeding Center Livelihood. I don't have the complete name. But this is where, from 7 street kids at the Lagoni, they have now about 150 being fed, educated here. So,
thank you so much for inviting us here today. And I welcome Congressman Gasataya for joining us, a man of God, as well as we're also daughters of God. So,
yes,
it's a blessed day.
Okay, let's shoot. Congressman, what is really happening in Congress? We are at a loss just watching this daily televised public hearings. First on the impeachment of our Chief Justice Sereno, who is also a woman of God. She went, would you believe, Congressman? We attended the same public elementary school, Quezon City High, Kabuning Elementary School, Quezon City High School, UP, valedictorian of her class. who lives at PhilInvest, not in Corinthian Gardens, but a very modest lady. And yet she is the object now of this, I feel she's like a Daniel in the lion's den. Anyway, so can you explain what has happened to Congress? You know, before, Congress was cleansed of all these trapos, traditional politicians. In 1986, there was that sense of hallelujah, we have gotten away with all these trapos, and it seems like they're back with a vengeance. Not you, I'm not referring to you. So can you tell me, what is the House of Representatives 2018?
Thank you, Doctor. No?
Interesting to hear that.
At present, there are a lot of issues, there are a lot of topics, there are a lot of pending bills, there are a lot of investigations going on in
Right and
Congress.
left, no?
Right and left, no? And more to come. I just saw the agenda the other day. There are a lot of things that are happening in Congress, specifically a lot of things. There's the ongoing investigation on the CJ. There is the ongoing series of meetings and hearings on the proposed charter change, CONAS, Federalism, and a lot of bills pending also, local bills as well as national bills. So, in all honesty, I cannot really follow everything that is happening in Congress.
You yourself.
Yeah. So what I do is just I focus on the committees where I am into.
What committees are you into?
I am the vice chair of the committee on higher and technical education.
Oh,
And
that's
then
nice.
I sit at the committee on appropriations, public works, and so on and so forth. So I basically focus on that committee because
You have only two committees?
I am a member of 8 more,
8 more.
committees now, but just focus on these committees, which I believe can help our constituents, can help the people of Bacolod more. Like for example, a product of the Committee on Higher and Technical Education is the free tuition
For grades 11 and 12?
in all state universities and colleges.
Wow,
That
that's
is effective already, 2018?
Yes, 2018 there's a budget. In 2017 second semester, there's a budget for it.
Not
but
for the first semester.
not for the first semester. But in 2018, all state universities and colleges, free na gid.
Wow.
You don't have to
That's
pay for your
You mean,
tuition.
in Bacolod, that means TUP,
PUP and
Bacolod.
Carlos Hilado.
Hilado.
Oo.
What else? West Visayas State University
Yes,
in
in
Iloilo.
Iloilo, there's one in, I think, the 5th district,
Sa Sagay.
Sagay.
Yan yung sa fisheries.
Fishery. So, literally all state universities and colleges.
And then the Philippine Normal College in Cadiz.
Oh,
Cadiz.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Yeah. So, all the students there will no longer pay anything.
Anything. So it will
That
be for
includes,
free.
yes, ma'am. That includes their miscellaneous, their tuition.
Huh? But why are the militant students saying there's still some to be paid?
Probably it's on the second semester.
On the
Because-
first semester?
and the first semester. But right now, in school year 2018, 2019.
Yes, so that will start in the this coming.
Second sem.
No,
Beginning
the
of October.
first sem, next school year. This
That-
school year.
That's the
Ah,
school
this
year.
school year.
Yeah. So
But
because
June.
Yes, June.
Okay, but of course they have to pass the entrance examination.
For the respective schools.
Yes.
And Congress-
It's not automatic.
It's not automatic. It's the usual that when you enter university or college for that matter,
Is
you
this
have to
only
apply.
intended for the college students? For the,
Yes,
But
ma'am.
for the technical schools, like
Same thing. Same thing.
Oh, okay.
So the government will pay everything, including all test the centers. They provide
So
that-
they don't pay anywhere 6,000,
No more.
8,000.
No more
Oh, yung
starting
mga
So-
welding classes, culinary.
How do they process that? Like if the training center has like 10 students, then the government will support the 10 students of 2 and 3?
This will start by June.
Okay.
So right now
that's fine.
they are finalizing the implementing guidelines.
Okay.
In 2017, the budget for CHED is 8 billion pesos. But in 2018, it was increased to 40 billion pesos.
Wow,
That's
just
really
for
a good
chess?
Yes.
Just for
Yes.
chess?
CHED and TESDA and all related.
Pero lain pa ang DepEd.
Lain
na
pang
budget.
DepEd, lain. Separate ang
Lain.
Oh
budget.
my,
Yes.
no wonder they pressed my friend Tati Licuanan out. She's very good, actually sacrificial, and just on the issue of flying on business class, they eased her out kasi somebody else wants the position who is not qualified.
I just hope that all this money will really go to the recipients, to the intended people, like for these unfortunate people who cannot finish their schooling, you know.
Yes, yes.
I just hope that there will be no, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. No, it should go there.
Yeah.
CHED and to all the SUCs.
50 billion for
40 billion. 40 billion.
And that will really help a lot of unfortunate people because there are so many, like here in the center, we have lots of teens. I mean,
Yeah.
they're very intelligent.
grade 11 and grade 12
Yeah, but then
graduating.
they don't have any means of supporting themselves.
So once you graduate in
They
grade
have to
12,
finish grade 12.
Yeah, they have to
they have to
finish grade 12.
enter Carlos Hilado or TUP
Yeah.
for that
But how
matter.
about these unfortunate mothers, like they don't have any credential, like they only finish elementary, so are there any programs for them that they can join?
House.
Well, they have to pass the accreditation, the TENS accreditation exam,
Oh, okay.
para they can already proceed to tertiary education. That's the.
If they pass the, let's say, the qualifying exam, but parang performance achievement test, whatever you call it, even if they didn't go through grades 11 and 12, as long as they pass, they can go on to
Yeah,
first year
college.
university.
No, that's at least that's they
That's
can
a
believe
very
it.
good
It
development.
is. It is.
Yeah, that's what we've been focusing for the past 6 months actually since we came in July of 2016. So my focus was really on that
Yeah.
committee because when I was still with the city council here in Bacolod, I was the chair of the committee on education. So I authored the comprehensive scholarship program in Bacolod. So it was replicated on a national scale. So aside from free tuition in all state universities and colleges, there is also a portion of that budget which will go to the Study Now Pay Later program for private schools naman. Because we have also some students who would want to go to private schools.
And in some provinces, the good educational institutions are run by private
Yes.
academic groups. Okay. Okay. We appreciate that and we recognize it. But all those good programs will be somehow destroyed or derailed if our system of governance is what do you call this? What is the right adjective? Prostituted or taken over by opportunists, by very ambitious men who are just for themselves. So we're referring to on us. So what is the ultimate agenda of the likes of your Speaker of the House, Alvarez, the likes of Kumali, Gwen Garcia, these people who are at the forefront, they don't have credibility because they themselves are objects of draft cases like Gwen Garcia. I really get so upset because I know that she ran for Congress to avoid prosecution because she has this multi-million draft case in the ombudsman. But if you are an elected official, you have immunity, right? Or something like that.
I'm not sure about it.
You're not
about
sure about
immunity from ombudsman cases?
No,
From
But being prosecuted, di ba, while you're in office, like, as long as you are incumbent senator or congresswoman, I'm not so clear about that law.
even if you're a sitting member of the House or Senate, if there's a case in the ombudsman, you should answer it. And because there are a lot of members of Congress who were also suspended.
Suspended.
Yeah, I think they will be suspended first before they can be persecuted.
Anyway,
Preventive
the thing is, Fariñas, okay? Look at his track record in Ilocos, okay? Gwen Garcia, her track record in Cebu, okay? Alvarez. I mean, they are the ones coming out at the fore. But the good, I know there are, I am not generalizing, but the good congressmen, they're at the background. They don't have as much say because they're not the majority. They're not in the majority, or everyone is being forced to, pressed to join PDP Laban. So what's happening now is that we have a feeling, Congressman, correct me if I'm wrong, that everything is being railroaded, fast track, and I can't imagine how they can do serious thinking and looking at different issues by just doing this speedily. And they would brag, we have done this, and then compare their track record with the Senate, and then they accuse the Senate of very turtle-paced in passing the laws, the hidden laws of the land, ganyan. So what is your comment on
Probably,
this?
Doctor, it's more of a perception that there's somewhat a pressure for every member of the House to be part of the majority or to go with PDP Laban, for example. I am still a member of the NPC. I wasn't...
NPC ka pa rin?
Yes.
This
I
is
wasn't-
Danding Kuangko's party. Okay.
Ever since, so I never transferred to PDP. There was no pressure.
But there's this mass,
But Doctora, I think even in the past generations, it's always like that in the politics.
It's a matter of your choice.
Yeah, I mean,
But
What
Alvarez
choice?
was saying, if
they
you
do
don't...
that, they transfer from one party to another party, whoever wins. I think that has been
And of
like
course,
that
they've
in
done well the
generation.
apple. If
Yeah.
you're part of us, you get more allocation, and for all you know, if you openly contradict us,
I think
you
it's
may
the
not
game
even
of the
get the
politicians.
appropriation. Huh?
Yeah.
It's the game of the politicians. Wherever you go in the whole world, they do that. It's a game of the politicians.
What's the
That's-
reality in the House
It's
of
still,
Representatives?
it's still a personal call on every member of the House whether
Yes.
to join with the ruling
The-
political party or with your own political party. So on my part, I'm still a member of the NDC. I can, I was able to get the projects needed for Bacolod.
I
Oh,
think
but what's your take on, for example, they're pushing for divorce, they're pushing for same-sex marriage, but this becomes moot and academic if they change the constitution. If they have cha-cha, they open the constitution to all the changes they want to push for.
Actually, the irony of it, until now, we haven't seen the final draft of the proposed amendment to the Constitution. They're still at the committee level with Congressman
Going through
Mercado.
everything.
Calling everybody, asking everybody to attend their hearings. So, there are a lot of versions. There's a version coming from the PDP Laban. There's a version coming from former Senate President Pimentel. There are a lot of versions.
Nene
Nene
Pimentel,
Pimentel
for the federalism.
for the federalism, But after we approved the resolution convening Congress into a constituent assembly, there have been no movements up to now, except for series of hearings in their respective committees.
It's all sound and fury, signifying nothing, as William Faulkner wrote. But they are so isug in saying, now we're doing this, we're going to have the plebiscite. They are so adept in pushing or giving the false impression. It's mga author ng mga fake news mo.
Kaya kadamog na yun siguro sa fake news because of this social media. So you just have
number
to
one
be
man sila ang mga
careful.
ining mga congressman na particular na ini na nag-promote sila, they're giving false impressions or somehow gina-engineer na nila ang atmosphere to make you think that it's already there, human na. Di ba?
Yeah, the social media is sometimes is really being used, to promote.
Not just sometimes.
Most of the time.
There's really
It's-
an organized paid group.
Yeah, then you have to be really careful.
from all sides.
You have to listen, you have to be open, and just try to weigh things before we conclude on something. Because if we just be like listening to all of these paid social medias that, destroying one another, and I don't know if that will be
That is why
Good.
we want to make sense out of it. Out of the sound and the fury, we want to know what's the real score. And how do we prepare our constituency? Yeah, okay? How do we prepare the Negrense, the Bacolenyo, to vote intelligently? No? Okay? To vote intelligently or make the right move? Is it time, as on February 25, when we celebrate EDSA, to go out into the streets and make the president aware? One good thing which the Dilawas, the Reds, one good thing about our society is democracy is alive and well.
Yeah.
It's alive and well. For all the criticisms of the progressive left or whatever, for me as a social scientist, I see indicators that the democracy is alive and well, because when the shouting and the noise really gets loud, Duterte really, backs off, diba? So, what kind of a voice are you in Congress?
Well, since MNU fight, doctor, and
hard question.
there are more than 290 plus members. The first few months was more of trying to know what's in there.
Yes.
Meaning you have to understand the terrain.
Yes.
You have to know the persons there. You have because it's not just a matter of making bills,
Yeah, that's
pushing for bills to be approved. It's more of knowing Congress itself on a personal note.
And creating critical alliances.
Yes. So on my part, of the first 6 months, as I said, I focused on the committee on higher education, higher and technical education, because I believe I can be efficient in that committee
Yes.
based
That's
on
your
my
calling.
experiences here in the local level. So with the outcome, with the passage of that bill, which is now a law, I believe I have done everything that I can in that aspect.
In that aspect.
In that aspect.
Okay, what about the critical aspect of our fate, our destiny as a people? Because to my mind, federalism, the way they define it, will really lead to political dynasties, family dynasties taking over a whole province like Osam is taken over by Parolinos. And it's well and good in Negros because we have a strong civil society, NGO, civic groups. But in islands like Romblon, the Espinosas, I think this is really a scary scenario.
Siguro, Doctor, what we can do there is we have to await for the draft
Yes.
to come out.
So before.
Because as I said, there are a lot of noise, really. Version here, there's a version over there. We will have 5 federal states. There's a proposal for 18. So we really cannot give an honest to goodness evaluation and assessment until and unless there's a final draft of the committee
But
report.
who is
which will-
making the final draft?
The Committee on Constitutional Amendments, headed by Congressman
Mercado
Mercado
from Leyte.
from Leyte. And I was informed
Are
the
you
other
not a
day-
member? You should
No,
be a
I am not.
member.
I'm not a member of that committee. And there's a draft coming from the Senate. There's a version also coming from the Senate. They had a meeting last Tuesday
Yeah.
with members of the House. So probably once it's a final, final, then we can already have a clear grasp of kung ano gid nga amendment sa atong luyag. What kind of federal system ang atong idebatihan.
The Duterte coming out recently saying, oh, it will be a hybrid of Hong Kong and the like. But you never know because suddenly, igagan nyo na lang, idasok na lang sa imo. Amo ni. No? Amo na ang dinanong mo sa mga tabo.
I don't think so, idasok niya na. I don't think so because there will be, of course, the Congress, the House of Congress, the Senate. I mean, there is this committee that really trying to study what is best for the Philippines. But it really depends upon those people also, like they will decide, oh, this is good for the Philippines, this is good for our country. I don't think so it will be forced into our throat.
Marilu. That's why we need to be noisy. We need to be vigilant.
But how can we be vigilant when we don't know yet?
That's
So
why we
really
have to know. This is one
we have to
avenue.
know
This is
first.
why we're having this discussion on the air because there's no other channels that we can trust. I cannot trust the social media alone. You have to discriminate. And we have our very own House of Representatives here. So finally, Tong, how has your Christianity affected your performance as a congressman? Because now, again, the impression of the people is that, congressman, mga kurat, kuratong, amna. Okay.
Well, Doctor, before I answer that, siguro, what I can assure the people of Bacolod is that as soon as the draft, the final draft comes out, I would be moving
public.
around and
You will be
discussing.
transparent enough to
Yes.
let the people, inform the people so
I'll
that
give
people
you
will
copy
be
of
aware.
draft and all the other
Okay,
sectors of
so before
Bacolod.
our televiewers, you're saying you're making a commitment that as soon as the final draft comes out from the lower house or the joint committee,
the joint committee.
okay, the joint committee, you will let us know.
Of course.
You
of
will
course.
hold like a public consultation.
Yes. Not just a public consultation, probably even small group discussions
Okay.
and
We will invite you
information.
back here. We'll give you 50 minutes.
Yes,
to
doctor,
discuss
because I
this.
know that I cannot understand everything that's in there. I need the voice of the different sectors of
That's true.
Bacolod City to be able to comprehend and come up
Yes.
with a decision with regards to that final draft.
It's hard to say something when you don't know much about it.
No, because they're manipulating. It's social manipulation. So they're creating the impression that this is it. Those who have vested interest, like those who are for divorce, like Alvarez is so loud, no, and so pushy about same-sex marriage, Congressman. And that's what we as Christians are very, really concerned with. That they will not go for cha-cha, and then the next thing we know, a divorce is there. Everybody now can divorce or same-sex marriage. That's what we're watching out for.
So, to answer your question,
Yeah.
Doctor, as of now, this batch is very privileged because we don't have pork barrels anymore.
Okay.
Unlike in the past,
Yeah.
that the budget
That's the
is
source of corruption.
at your discretion, meaning you can give to Kunoabe NGO.
Yeah.
or
Your
whatever.
favorite NGO.
Yes,
Or
yes.
your family NGO.
Your family
Yeah.
NGO. But now, wala. The most that we can do is request the national government to provide funds for the Corazon Locsin.
Yes.
Corazon Locsin will implement the project. The Corazon Locsin Hospital will give assistance to patients.
Is that good?
For me, it's very important.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because,
I believe too.
Yeah, because there
At least the funds will not be diverted to a
and we
where
will not be
a
able to
project-
handle funds.
Yeah.
We don't handle funds.
Kagaya yung
Oh.
yung PIDAP.
Unlike the
Yeah,
Budak
because what
before.
happened to PIDAP and the NGO that
Discretions
follows-
lang nila.
Yes.
Yeah.
So right now, wala. It
At least
goes
it's
through.
protected. The money of the Philippines, the money of the
Ang
people.
problema lang dyan yung mga insertions. Let's say, budget ng DNR, mag-i-insert si Congressman ganyan na 50 million is under my discretion.
No, hindi na allowed mo.
Kasi
there's no more insertions.
That is really
there's no
good. I
more,
find that really very, very good.
At your discretion. For example, like in the past that you would say, provide 50 million for this foundation.
So,
then
wala na.
it's going to be at your discretion.
Tapos hindi,
So,
hindi
na
ito
pwede.
yung insertion, hindi yung under the congressman directly, pero yung DNR, sasabihin nila, kasi I was a national consultant, and Dr. Alcala at the time was in a quandary. Sabi niya, look, Boleto, look at this, yung si congressman, ganyan, 50 million, 25 million, masaka ang budget ng DNR, and then their threat is, they will not let them pass the CA, Commission on Appointment, if they refuse the insertion. Hindi na ba nangyayari yun?
Because the budget is presented by August. All the budgets of the different departments are there.
That's really good.
You can scrutinize it. You
Yes.
can check all the proposed projects
That's
of the
a big
different
change.
national agencies. So there's no more discretionary power on the part of
Why
congressman.
is Alvarez so proud in saying, if you don't go with us, we will make sure you don't get funding? Or, the recent threat that he made?
But probably it's more of the agencies like DPWH. They can recommend, they can endorse. But ang akon is more of the congressman holding the budget at his discretion.
Okay.
Which subong...
At saka yung,
siya.
yung 10%. So, bawat contractor meron na dyan automatic si congressman, 20%.
That was the practice before.
Yung 10 million na let's say isang road project na maliit, pagdating sa actual
Wala
na
na, 2
road,
million na lang
konti
bilhin.
na lang, kaya pigaw ang resulta sa kalsada. Kasi
Tagal
congressman
iban.
may RD, si ano eh.
Ang panggid, hindi gid matapos ang dalan.
Oo.
Yeah.
So,
So,
ang
right now, with the advent of social media, I think everybody's doing...
Aware?
Everybody's aware. There's been transparency in implementing these projects. Kada isa, gahalo. Everyone's trying to be careful with what they're doing. So, to answer your question about my faith, doctor,
How have you reconciled your being a committed Christian and being in this body, the House of Representatives, who has a very negative perception in the eyes of our people?
well, it made me closer to the Lord.
In what sense?
Because every day just commit everything to Him.
That's correct.
Because I am not trying to say that I am a good Christian, I am a strong Christian, I will not be able to fight all temptations, that I am perfect. I am not doctor. So what I do every day, just commit everything to Him. There are times na makasandad ka, so bangon lang niwat, just surrender it. Amunag na lang ako ng moto, because if I will rely everything on myself, why na? Why
Yeah,
not?
this morning I had my devotional about us being nothing in the eyes of God. Sometimes we pinpoint our fingers to other people, forgetting that we also sin. Because all of us are sinners. No one is righteous, not even one. So if ever we become righteous, is through the blood of Jesus Christ, then we are made righteous, but not because of our own work or doing. So I agree with Congressman Gasataya that he just needs to pray and kneel and ask God for
Heidi
protection.
Baker, I learned something, how to die to yourself daily. She
Yes.
said, I go down on my knees, I prostrate myself on the floor, and each day as it begins, I say, Oh Holy Spirit, this day cover me with your cloak of beauty, love,
Yes.
joy, kuberan pagilya.
Yeah.
There are many things I cannot do, but you can.
There are many things we cannot do.
Do not let me
Sometimes
be...
we cannot even, just to keep your mouth shut, it's a big accomplishment, don't you know?
So that's what she says in the prayer. You say,
Sometimes it's just
there are many things
difficult.
I cannot do, but you can.
Yes.
Do not let me be a hindrance to
Correct.
your flowing through my life.
Amen.
And with that note, your last word, Congressman.
Doctor,
Here.
thank you very much, Marilu. Thank you
You're
for this time. No? Siguro, as you said earlier, there's been too much noise. No? But just always think that and consider that there's a still voice
Yes.
that guides us and teaches us and empowers us to make decisions. Sometimes it may not be popular. Sometimes you may make wrong decisions. But just be open and just surrender everything to Him. Because at the end of the day, di taman ni madala tanan
Correct.
all this power and everything. Why tani madala? What is
Yes.
important is our continuous relationship with our Creator, with our Lord and Savior. So thank you for this.
Well, thank you, Congressman. And with that, we'd like to thank you for staying with us for the past 55 minutes. And we'll see you again next week for another interesting segment on City Talk and City Walk. This is your program host, Yuneta Lopez Gonzaga, and my
Marilu
guest host,
Castor.
Marilu Castor, bidding you goodbye for now. But our program will be back again next week. By the way, our program is shown twice, Sunday at 7 p.m. and if you missed it, 7 p.m. Tuesday here on Channel 32 Sky Cable. God bless you. Thank you. On a more personal note, although we said goodbye, we'd like to take advantage of this time to delve deeper into the personal life of our lone representative in Congress. And so, Congressman, tell us, how real is God in your life?
It's something that you can see, but you can feel.
Well, there are people who say, in fact, I have a classmate in high school who said, you know, the problem with what you're saying about God is that I cannot touch Him. I cannot feel His embrace. And when I'm lonely, I can hear Him. So how do you relate what you're saying to that? Because he became actually gay because he couldn't experience love in the normal sense. And that was one of his reasons.
That's why I said there's somewhat a still small voice that tells you, that guides you, that personally, that voice has been with me for years.
Has it always been with you, or was there a turning point in your life where you began to question things?
Well, I was blessed because I grew up in a Christian family. My parents were both church workers.
You mean to say your father is a pastor?
My father was the driver of Maranatha Baptist Church.
Oh, you mean he's a driver? Okay.
Yeah, my mother was a teacher, but she retired and served full time at the church. So, sa madumduman ko, I grew up sa church.
At what age did you really began to have consciousness or have that personal relationship with God?
I accepted the Lord when I was 7 years old.
Wow.
That's 40 years ago. Then
At 7, many kids at that time really do clear understanding of God. So what made you, when you say accept, we hear this commonly. What do you really mean by accept? Kasi you can accept God in communions, like in a Catholic church, in Ostia. So when you say you accepted,
it was shared to me that we cannot go to heaven if we don't accept the Lord. If we don't believe that we are sinners, and we don't accept Him as a personal Lord and Savior. At the time, that was the explanation to me, which kung bata ka, siyempre, okay. So it was presented to me that way, so I accepted. the Lord that time. But hindi kapos ang Christian mo. As I said, although I grew up in church, there were so many times na akong bata, nakadasma ka, naka-backslide ka, and but still, there's a rubber band ba na ginabutong tagyapon pabalik. And every time that I feel that I'm at the top of something, the Lord somewhat speaks to me na hindi na yung blessing ko na kasi hindi tungod sa ibigin mo, but because of what your parents did in the past. So, I never grew up in a family na para sa
Yeah, and I did realize that your father was a driver. Okay. I mean, not really well off, because Sam, like a well-known alternative politician, his father was a lawyer, attorney in the country. Okay. But how did you get into the political mainstream?
So, doctor, wala
How did you start your career? You got, what's your education like?
When I took up political science in UP,
Nag-aral ka, doon ka sa public school?
I studied Los Negros Elementary. Sa high school, nag-graduate ko sa Manila Professional High School.
Okay.
And then I went to UP Diliman for
Nakapasa
political
ka.
science.
You know, it's not easy to pass the entrance exam in UP High School. Like, and 20,000, only 2,000 will take it.
Then I went back to Bacolod. I worked. But I don't know kung paano na nakasunod ko sa computer.
When you look at it, he doesn't have the givens. He doesn't have a family dynasty. Okay, let's speak up.
Yeah, we're not from here.
Where were you
Ang
from?
parents ko sa tatay sa Kamakala, sinanay ko sa
Yeah, I
Kamakala.
know.
Hindi kami
You're not even Bacolenyo.
I was born here, I grew up here, but hindi kami kumanto.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gasataya
and you don't have
really.
the connections.
I don't have a connection.
Because I tried to help some really good material from Congress. But somehow the road was blocked all the time. And they are the people that you would want to be in Congress. You would want to be speaking. So when I heard you and I said, who is this? Why I knew your name. But I was puzzled at how you made it. And somehow the impression said, kasi ano siya ni ano eh, protege siya nito, kasi he belongs to this.
Ang ako ni Dr. Bonin, I know that everything fell into place lang.
God's
No, it's God's way, and ako na plano niya sa akin, wait ko kaya.
As a young person, what was your vision for yourself?
I want to become a lawyer, but I did not enter college law because hindi mabasahan ka ng shit.
But I thought you're a UP College of Law graduate.
No.
Hindi.
I couldn't college of law. Just
Political science ka lang. Hindi naman
Well,
lang.
naman law ko. Kaya hindi namin agi ko eh. So I'm sure hindi ko kapasang bagay kung Pilipinas.
Really? Your penmanship is bad?
The worst. Sometimes I don't even understand my penmanship.
Oh my
But
goodness.
going back to first, ang ako lang is, this is the plan of the Lord para sa ako ni Kabuyo.
Yes,
He said,
I believe
why
that
kini ginpangayo, everything na natabo sa akon, blessing ni siya because my parents, instead of working on a secular job to have a
Going
better
OFW,
future
yes.
para sa amon, nag-sacrifice sila. And they work full
In
time
what
sa simbahan.
sense?
Si nanay nag-retire siya as a teacher. And then, ubra sa church, why na? Yeah, so,
Oo nga.
si tatay, doon sa mga natin, nag-utatan siya, nag-driver siya sa simbahan.
Oo. Kasi nga, hindi ka nagkuha pang eskwela.
Dalawang provider.
Doctor, I
This is the
think,
first time I heard this.
Doctor, I think it's really, when God said be obedient and everything you shall prosper. I think it's very, very true. Sometimes unexpected things happen to a person you don't really expect. But this is the way God works in our lives. And look at his life now. You can see how God works in his life. Amazing.
ito ba ko ba yung doktor? Hindi ko just surrender everything to you. Why man, sino ko ba yan? Wala ko yan.
Because you're a lawyer all along.
Grabe, amazing.
So this is an inspiration.
It is.
And there are many, there are many. And you show this, we are launching a Philippine or youth movement. We show this interview with you. And how can you encourage? Because madamo man din ang may ambisyon. Pero wala sila wala sila connection. In your case, you're showing, kuya, wala man po connection. Hindi galing taga Bacolod. Pero, congressman ka na sa po. So, what is your secret that you can share with our high school students who's going to watch the show?
Doctor shared his testimonies in church. There's this Bible verse akong ginestahan sa mga Burgos sa Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own. In all your ways acknowledge Him and He will
Direct your life. Amen.
So that has been it. No? I studied in UP while akong ginagawa ng ibang entrance exam. Wala ko nagpa-UP na dito.
Ay, Valedictorian.
Valedictorian ako sa high school, but
Automatic man ang Valedictorian. Not anymore.
so ako entrance exam. So, a lot of my friends had written exams sa private school. So, wala ka.
Focus ka get sa UP.
Nagkuha lang entrance exam sa UP.
Sana din ka school.
Free ang UP mo, scholar ng bayan. Abutan yun.
So, nagkuha lang ang exam. Kung ano nga course, I remember I was in 4th year high school when I applied to it. And then, sabi ko, Lord, anong quantum nga course? Background ko, political science. Sabi ko, Lord, as pag-graduate ko, sabi ko, Lord, ano ang will mo para sa akin? What would you want me to become someday? I just opened the Bible because naginambala ko, Lord, i-open ko sa among na chapter ng universe. Pag-open ko sa Bible, I can't remember kung ano siya verse, but
What did it say?
it talked about kings, rulers, and leaders. So at that time, may pinag-hindi ko na naman.
Wow, that was a
Prophetic.
prophecy. Yeah, that was a prophecy.
Wala ko machindi ko na po. And then after ko ito na-open, nag-abukan ang letter from UP that I was accepted sa political science. Basta naman siya.
Wow.
So,
How did you get first into politics?
after I was working sa Bombo. Remember?
Ay, oo nga pala. Bongo radio
I
announcer
worked
ka.
sa Bombo for 8 years. Siguro, dito ko naman kakilala, name recall.
Name recall, yeah.
I ran city council in 2001.
And the rest is history.
The rest is the Lord's blessing.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And for you, our dear young people, may paglaon. Inyo kinanilan na ang ngalan mo, yung mga pantog na apelyido, kaya hindi ka kinanilan ka LaSalle graduate or elite school graduate. Basta lang the heart of the matter is what? Surrender your life to the Lord Jesus. And I think the Bible is very much part of your life. You read the Bible every day.
Lately, hindi na. More just trying to read the devotion.
You Bible. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You Bible,
Congressman, I asked you earlier, how has your faith made a difference in Congress? But that's presuming that you are a man of faith. In your life, has God always been a force to contend with, or did something happen along the way?
Well, Doctor, sa ginambal ko na, as I said earlier, my Christian walk has not been perfect. There were a lot of times that I fell. There are a lot of times that I backslid. There were a lot of times that I believe in myself. And those were the times na nakatumba ko. The moment nga maghambal ako nga kaya ko ni amo na lang times nga wala.
Let's backtrack. Backtrack. Because many Filipinos, when you ask them, do you believe in God, would say, yes, of course. Hindi ako, I believe in God. I'm a Christian because I go to church every Sunday, or I don't do any real bad thing. To you, who is God to you?
He's everything. We are not what we are, where we are, and we're going to be kung wala siya sa atin. I mean, ang ako niya based on my life, based on my experiences. Kung wala ang ginuuti, I don't know kung diin ko subong. Okay, as I said, although I grew up in a Christian family, I accepted the Lord at a very early age. But ang tanan nga natabo sa kabuhi ko, hindi siya reward, hindi siya blessing sa Ginoo because of the sacrifices of my parents. They working full time sa simbahan.
Okay. Your parents were not absentee parents.
No, they're
Walang
not.
OFW.
Wala.
Pero you brought in something unique na your father did not work for a corporation. He was not a corporate man. He was not a lawyer.
My father, doctor, worked as a driver sa church.
Ever since
drive siya, ever since I can remember.
Okay.
So, he used to work sa isa ka company, but nagwa siya, nag-work siya full-time sa simbahan, nag-drive siya sa lakyan simbahan, dito sa bus, until the day na patay siya.
Really?
Yeah, si nanay, same thing. Si nanay, nag-retire siya at an early age as a teacher, nag-work full-time sa simbahan, until
As what?
she died. She handled all the paper. She worked somewhat as a secretary, bookkeeper, and everything sa
And
simbahan.
what church is this?
Sa Maranatha Baptist Church.
Okay. Oo.
So, dira ako nagdako.
You're once a teenager, and you know what? Sad to say, the Philippines is now number one in premarital sex of teenagers, number one in teenage pregnancy, and also we have toppled down Thailand in terms of the incidence of AIDS in our country. When you were a teenager, looking back, how did you keep yourself pure, or what was it that the young are searching for that you didn't fall into?
But doctor, in those times, wala pa man yung social media. In those times, wala pa man yung sa mga technology.
Hindi ka naman amo kakatigulang ay.
But during those times, it's more of friends. Since as I said, I grew up in the church. Most of my friends, even in school, upod ko sa simbahan. So we move in the same circle. We go to the same places. So ang pressure of doing things that should not be done, medyo hindi amo na.
In other words, parang safe ang community mo.
Safe ang akong community, no? Ang high school ko, it was a Christian school. So, though church, school, balay, friends, so dra ko nagkatiyog sa sunod.
Looking at your family background, okay, you are not born into a landed family, which is usually where politicians come from. In other words, you're not part of any family dynasty, political dynasty. Your parents were really from a low-income group, driver and church secretary. You didn't have any strategic networks and connections. So, how did you get into a political career when you don't have the givens, the usual givens of a politician?
Well, if you just base everything on those givens, doctor, wala ko sa politika. No, but let me share to you that before I graduated in high school, I prayed and asked the Lord's guidance kung ano ang matabo, anong direksyon ko, anong will niya pala sa akong life. As I said earlier, I opened up the Bible and nagambala ko nga sa ko, Lord, ang answer ko would be in this chapter and in this verse.
Hindi naman yung parang tigit ka tapos gano'n.
Hindi man.
Ganon.
I had the specific na ini nga chapter kag ini nga verse. Amo ni ang will mo para sa akin. Okay. So when I opened that, ang ato nga Bible verse talked about rulers, about our leaders, about kings. At the time, wala akong maintindihan kung ano to siya. Palagi, no idea kung ano to ang mood silingon katong verse. And then a couple of weeks later, nag-abot ang result sa pag-apply ko sa UP, and I was accepted to the university to take up
This is
political
UP
science.
Diliman.
UP Diliman, doctor. So, muton.
But you also studied well in high school. Were you not a valedictorian?
Yeah, nakaluyan.
Okay, yeah.
So, muto, pag ako sa entrance exam, pasahan ko mo itong political science. So, wala, kuya kabalong, 30 years later, I will become a congressman of Bacolod.
But can you see yourself being guided by the Lord? What was your first job? You said Bombo Radio?
Yeah, after college, nagpulikos Bacolod, I worked as a broadcast journalist. So, I am sure ginbutaan ko to ni Lord for a purpose. Kaya dapat nung balik ako sa Manila mo.
Okay.
Yung nabals na naisa ko nito. Apply bla sa Bombo kay kapangita sila researcher kag hindi ko na connect balo. Patibot sige. So apply ko and the rest is history. So,
You became number 1 Bombo radio announcer here. And I'm sure your Christianity, your integrity made a difference kasi may aramang envelopmental journalism mo. So okay, after Bombo Radio,
so
fast
after
track.
Bombo, 8 years, I worked for 8 years in Bombo and then nag-run ko for the city council.
Kag nagdaog ka? Without
that's
being really part of this political, wala kang connection. Just your Bombo connection.
Just the name recall.
Name recall.
So looking back, amo to, I'm sure na mo tong plans ang Ginoo sa akon. Kay di mo grupo, hindi ka madlagan ka nagulpi.
Wala ka mang kwarta.
Wala.
Okay, and then Vice Mayor. How did you get to be Vice Mayor?
After 3 terms in the city council, I somewhat retired from politics.
Okay.
Nag-retire na ako sa 2010.
Really?
Why?
And what did you do?
Nag-director ko sa Water District.
Okay.
And then I have some friends man we work in consultancy and but again the party offered me to run as vice mayor. Isling ko, I mean, though gusto ko magpataway kay apoy man kayo ang politika. Siling sang lani mayor niya, kabalo kami nga pangamuyo pa. Break ka niya, pangamuyo ilang anay don't say no anay sa among offer. Siling ko, okay, pangamuyuan ko, pero at baka may hindi na ko. Mas taway sa private. But I specifically asked the Lord for a sign.
Okay.
A very, very hard sign nga for sure hindi matabo. To make the long story short, on that day, that thing happened accurately, 100%.
What is that thing, if you can reveal it?
I applied for a visa to the US. Kay may convention natinan. At the time, budlaya mag-apply.
Would like it even now.
Yeah. So, siling ko, sige Lord kung ma-approve ko, kag ma-multiple ko, kag 10 years, kag amo nga date, dapat mabot ang visa ko, madalagan
It's a sign.
ko. So, wala. Nag-apply lang ko, na-interview, pag-interview na-approve. At siling ko basi, pwede pa niya. One basi, economic coincidence lang nga na-approve ko. But siling ko dapat, kung mag-abot ang visa, not later than Friday of that week, kag hindi maglapaw 5 o'clock, meaning the Lord wants me to run as vice mayor. it happened.
Okay. Now about Congress. Kasi different ball game na yan. You need millions. You need the right connections.
Same thing in Congress, damo kami nagdalagan. So, somewhat ang votes were just exact nga tsakto lang gid para daong ko. So, meaning ang tanan gintanuhan kagin plastar Ginoo para sa akon na ari ko subong where I am now.
Okay, last word. What can you advise? Many more young people are really not well off and struggling to just have the fare to go to school, although grades 11 and 12 are free, and then tamo pa da, may mga dream nga daw imposible. What can you live with them as a word?
Siguro ang ako lang, doctor, is i-share ko lang sa ilang Bible verse na ara sa amon ginakanaan sang gamay ko sa Burgos. It's Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Amo lagi na siya. Let that be a testament. Let that be the foundation of your life. And I am sure whatever you would want to be, ipastana sa Ginoo as long amo na ang imong ginasihan.
Thank you,
Thank you very much,
Congressman.
Doctor. Thank
Thank you. God bless you.